It's Falcons Daily. It's a Wednesday. I'm your guy, CG, Craig Green. Thanks again for tuning in, and thanks for getting us so much closer to 1,000 subscribers. We can taste it, we can smell it, we can feel it. We're almost there. Please keep clicking that subscribe button, and let's get over 1,000 and let the world know about Falcons football. First thing about Falcons football today, y'all, a mini camp started on Tuesday, so we are going to talk a little bit about that. Some things you need to know about mini camp. First of all, every single player was in attendance, perfect attendance for the Falcons. The only player who was not there was Morgan Fox. He had an excused absence. So, and again, 89 out of 90 were there, including Kirk Cousins. He was in the building as well. Kirk talked to the media, and we'll give you more about that in a little bit. But in terms of things that you didn't see, you didn't see Kirk Cousins on the field. You didn't see Michael Penix on the field. You saw what more of Raheem Morris wanted to call. He said his words were a big time jog through. So basically, they were slowing down the speed a little bit and also getting what he wanted to call developmental players out there. You know, some of the bottom half of the roster guys, your rookies, your tryout players. Some of those guys were out there. Instead, Emory Jones was out there playing quarterback for the Falcons. Again, Billy Bowman was playing today, Jalen Walker, James Pierce. We also saw some of the 2s, 3s, and other players out there. D'Angelo Malone was out there today. And also one player that returned from injury that we talked about yesterday, was he going to be ready to go? DeMarco Hellams was back playing safety today in some of the 11-on-11 drills. So that was a good sight to see. We wondered if he was going to be able to get out there anytime soon. So one of the players we weren't worried about yesterday was Hellams. We talked about him and Braylon Trice and Kyle Pitts. So now one of the three is back. We know the goal for Trice is to be back by training camp. Kyle Pitts still a ETA of IDK. I don't know. Ooh, excuse me, y'all. All right, next on the list here. Speaking of, we talked about perfect attendance and people who were in the building, and that Kirk Cousins was there. Kirk did speak to the media yesterday and talked to them about where he stands and things that he's been doing in the offseason. We also heard from Michael Penix, the new starting quarterback of the Falcons as well. And I watched both of their press conferences yesterday, and what did I learn from some of these things that they were saying? Kirk, I've learned that he's trying to basically move on from the trade and the rumors and what have you. He's only worried about what he can control, and which is keeping himself healthy, being available, and ready to go when his number's called. Penix, what we learned about him is that he's, a humble guy, a confident guy. We learned that he is still growing in the offense. He's feeling much more confident in Zach Robinson's offense. He has a whole lot of belief in Drake London, and he thinks that Drake is going to have a even bigger year in 2025 than he had in 2024. Remember, Drake had 100 catches last year. It's a pretty damn good year if you ask me, but he thinks Drake is going to even explode even further. And hey, if Drake goes for 120 catches, 1,500 yards, 1,600 yards, not complaining. Also learned he's got extreme confidence in Bijan Robinson. So, all good things that we heard from Michael Penix. But again, Kirko, right now he's in a spot of, hey, control what you can control. I'm healthier now than I was last year. Kirk was saying that it wasn't his arm, his shoulder, or the Achilles. He was more saying it was his ankle and his mobility wasn't needed where it needed to be last season. Perhaps so. He knows his body better than I do or you do. But from what I saw watching the film, and I don't know if the velocity on the ball, I'm no sports science guy or anything like that, but it looked like he lost some zip on the ball. And I don't know if his ankle and the mobility had something to do with that, with his decision making or what have you. But again, it cost the Falcons last season. And, perhaps maybe they should have went to Penix earlier. Hindsight being 2020, we never know. But now Mike Penix has taken over. He's got 4 games under his belt as the starter, or 3 games under his belt as a starter, excuse me. And now we will see what he does going forward now that he has the keys to the Corvette going forward, or the keys to the Mercedes, I guess we should say. Next on the list of things that I wanted to talk about also was Kaleb McGary. And Kaleb McGary One thing that we learned from Raheem Morris was that Kaleb McGary had an injury that he was dealing with and is still dealing with. It's undisclosed. We don't know what it is. So he was absent from the practice portion of it. You know, you didn't really see him in public, but he was in the building just injured, and he's not doing much. So what does this mean for the Falcons, and what does it mean for minicamp and possibly training camp? It means right now Storm Norton jumps up the depth chart, and he's going to be the right tackle until Kaleb McGary comes back. And then right after him, you got Jack Nelson, the 7th round draft pick. So again, you know, Storm Norton, a guy who played in pinches last season. Remember, McGary had a knee injury, and he missed some time last season as well. So Storm Norton had to play a bunch for us. So, you know, a guy who's familiar with what Zach Robinson wants to do, familiar with the offensive line, but, you know, gonna have to get familiar with Mike Penix and how he does his cadence and whatnot. So that's also another factor for, you know, for the right tackle position. Who knows when Kaleb McGary is going to be back? You know, Raheem Morris said he's using extreme caution, monitoring Kaleb McGary's injury, and he didn't sound like it was going to be too serious. But again, they don't have to disclose injuries right now, so they're going to just kind of tell us whatever, you know, they want to tell us, and just up to us to kind of you know, wait for that to come across. All right, other notes from training camp today. We saw some of the rookies out there looking pretty good. First of all, Jalen Walker, again, getting a whole lot of love from Raheem Morris and also other coaches. They talk about how basically this man is a sponge. You know, he goes out there. You don't have to tell him more than once. He understands his assignment, what you're asking him to do, and he just does it. That sounds great, you know, for the Falcons, that he's picking up things quickly, and you know, that he may be in a spot to be able to do multiple things already in year one for Atlanta. The other thing we also learned was that Billy Bowman is getting some good looks as well at nickel corner, and he's doing a good job there. He did a nice job yesterday in practice. You know, just all the things that were written about him. So Bowman is impressing coaches, and he's also someone who's kind of, you know, picking up things a little faster than others. Also, another player who continues to impress is Joshua Simon, the tight end. Right now, he's about around 4th on the depth chart, you know, behind Kyle Pitts, behind Felipe Franks, behind Katoritano. So right now, you know, he's back there. But again, with the way Coach Morris and the staff has constructed this first part of minicamp, Josh Simon's going to get some looks, and he's also done some really good things. He's an athletic guy. He's got good hands. Remember, he led South Carolina in yards, catches, and touchdowns. So you might be able to count on Joshua Simon a whole lot sooner than you think you might be able to. All right, folks, let's call it good for today, and we will be back tomorrow. Please give me a follow on social media if you'd be so kind. That's at Craig G Sports, CRAIG, the letter G, and the word sports, if you don't mind. Also, if you see up there in the corner, give a Fan Arch Co. a follow. It's right there in the corner. If you don't mind, give them a follow at Fan Arch Co. That would be very nice. And if you have not done so, please click the subscribe button, and let's make sure you don't miss any of our new content. Until Thursday, we'll give you a wrap-up of training camp. Then, sayonara and buenos noches.